With the Alpha Wave 3 actually over now, welcome to the Hero Spotlight Reel, because I'm going to go through all the heroes in Alpha, show off the kits, kind of what they did, and use this kind of as a data bank, like a history or memory. So when we go into the beta and in the launch, we can actually look back quite easily on video gameplay footage of the changes that might have occurred with any of these heroes that we might experience in the game. So if you enjoy this series, you know what to do. Smash like, comment, and subscribe. And today we're going to be looking at Isis, the legendary Divine Mother from the Aaru faction. And honestly, I got this hero around, I think, floor 120 or around, yeah, I think around floor 120 or so in my run. And I love her. She is one of the coolest kind of true support heroes in the game. And I will tell you, a lot of people hate her too, because she is very cancerous, let's just say, to go against. And the reason she's cancerous is not because of her being an invoker or anything. It's just basically one of her abilities is honestly game changing if it goes off on your team. So smash like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into the video, right? Which is Invoker, Cunning. We've got our Chaos on our Isis, and I've got Aaru here on the faction. So we know kind of what she's premised on, but the thing that we care about, the more important parts of these videos, is going to be her skills, right? She's got a 70 resistance on her leader bonus. Actually relevant if you want to put her as a leader against Fafnir and give yourself free resistance to try and ignore a lot of the stuff that he plays onto you. But this basic ability that's on screen here is the actual problem child. It scales off attack, and you don't care about it scaling off attack because you never build attack on this hero. But you have a 35% chance to steal a random buff, which is kind of insane already, from the enemy. But then you spread one random buff on this hero to all allies. So even if you don't steal something and you've got, you know, a mend, you've got an attack up, or any buff that's on his hero that's not on other allies, basically, it can get that one buff and just spread it to everyone, which is absolutely insane, because you can do some funky stuff on certain waves where if you are lucky enough, you can steal like immortality and put that on all of your teams, so your entire team's immortal now. Like, you can do some crazy shenanigans with just a basic ability, and it's not really, you know, the bread and butter of this hero, because this is just the one cancerous thing everyone hates on her, but it makes her super powerful. When you look at her core ability though, her A2, this is where you start to realize how you build your Isis, because you get to place a shield on all allies, you place a defense up 2 on all allies for 3 turns, and you get an extra turn, and additionally you place mend on all allies for 3 turns. I believe that's her Awakening 1 that does that, which is really powerful as well, if you've guessed it, being able to put a shield on everyone here. But the way you build this is actually with HP. She has a 20% HP threshold on the shield. So if you built her with 100,000 HP, for example, well, that's a 20,000 shield that you apply to your entire team in you know how big it is, which is kind of disgusting, because you got to remember that shield is taking 20,000 points of damage, and you put a defense up 2 on your allies, which is reducing incoming damage that they take, meaning that shield is even more effective. And what's really good too is when you have the shield on, you're also mending allies for 3 turns, which is even cooler, because then they'll take the damage from the you know, the shield will take the damage. When it goes to their turn, you'll see the bar pop up, and eventually over time you can get them actually to full HP. And that's just, again, from her core ability. Her ultimate, though, is a really interesting one, because the thing is, you kind of, from my experience, you hold on to this quite a lot, because you can revive all allies with 50% HP and 50% turn meter, and that's kind of what you use it for. You want her to be the last one to die, and if she's the last one to die, great, because you should always have this ultimate ready to go, because she should be able to instantly resurrect your entire team and give them 30% turn meter, which might allow them to actually go first and actually kill the enemies and cheat that wave through. But then also, if Horus is revived in your team by this ability, you actually place Radiance 2 specifically on him for 2 turns, and that's it. So again, it has this little extra bit if Horus in the team, and it does mean you want to try and combine them together, and it is a nasty combo when you put them both on the same team. However, Isis is so good with both of these first basic and core abilities in Alpha Wave 3 that we've experienced that, like I said, your ultimate you hold. You hold this as a reaction, right? You don't really need to be using this all the time because it's not actually granting any buffs. It's not really doing anything apart from if you revive an ally. And that's the key thing. It only works on revival of allies. Like if you gain 50% turn meter anyway, great, but you don't, right? So super important part here on this skill. So as you guys can imagine, to finish her off, to give her really a nice little bit of, you know, glue to her kit, she actually just removes all debuffs and disables from the ally with the lowest HP, and you heal them 10% of this hero's maximum HP. So you can kind of see here from just this passive alone and from the shield, you guessed it, you want to be building as much HP on this hero. And the thing is, if I kind of go through and try and find the build I was running, which is this one, you can see, look, I'm able to honestly, if I want to, build her super tanky with this kit, right? And what's really good about this is obviously this gives you this absolutely ginormous shield that you could be running, right? But you can also run the Grail. The Grail is going to increase the outgoing healing by 42%, and you can get the HP percent built on this, and you can put the Isolde on here too. So as you can guys imagine now, I'm on nearly 75,000 HP for this Isis. And you can imagine that is a lot of healing going on any of my teams. And that's what we're going to showcase off in a moment, right? Just to finish off this section, the Awakening 3 extends the duration of one random buff on all allies when you have this on your basic. And then the Awakening 5 is after reviving, place Immortal on all allies for 2 turns. This does make her insane, by the way. Like, if you can Awaken 5 and Isis, I will just tell you now, if she ever ultimates, it feels like it's a game over, because you prevent the death of enemies basically for 2 turns. They're immortal, so they can guarantee what they want to do and basically mess up your day. Absolutely really great support hero. If you are looking for just my opinion on her before we show gameplay, she's in my top 5. She's in my top 5, maybe even top 3 heroes in this game, especially for Alpha Wave 3. Might be different in beta, might be different on obviously the release of the game, but that's kind of the point of this series, so we can see what they were like in Alpha Wave 3, and then when we play in beta in a couple of months time, guess what? We got a little reference here. So what we're going to do is take her out into a floor. We could try 145 if you want. I'm going to try maybe floor, I want to do a little bit of an easier one, because I want to take in weaker heroes, just so you can kind of see what she's about. Do you get what I mean? So if I just put in like Aphrodite with Isis as like a support combo, all I'm going to put in is something like Beowulf as the damage dealer and Scary as a bit of lockdown, so we can hopefully survive through the turns and see what this Isis is capable of, right? So we've got the AoE going off on obviously this. We don't need to steal anything here at the moment, so what we'll do is just kind of A2 the Aphrodite over onto obviously the Scary, and then try to freeze down a second target, which we don't. But here we go. This is what you guys want to see, and obviously you need to be able to see it, which is our core ability. So this is the core ability of our hero, which is placing a shield of 20% of my HP. Here we go. Lovely. And look at that, the mend from the actual buff too, from the Awakening 1 on all of the heroes. It is insanely good to run here, right? So here we've got a nice little, obviously, Beowulf doing what Beowulf needs to do. She's taking the damage. It's all good. It's all fine. We're going to freeze down this old small fry. And then what we're going to try and do, hopefully next wave, maybe if we can, you know, maybe just target one at a time, we can try and maybe steal a buff, or I can go to a harder floor and try and do that too. So we got Heimdall here. So this is a good opportunity to try and do it. So we're going to just focus down, if I can, one target. Just because if I can keep more up, that means obviously we get more opportunities of showing a bit more of Isis's, you know, work here, right? So now we've got some buffs on the enemies, right? So what we're going to do is A2 my Isis, which is going to be crazy for a lot of people. But look, if I actually attack now, let's freeze this guy, which we do. If I attack now with my Aphrodite, obviously my Isis is going to join with her basic attack. And if I'm able to, I can, as I just did, I could steal one of those buffs, right? I could maybe try and steal one of those buffs, which if we didn't do, it just came off cooldown. But there is still that retaliate there, right? So I can try with my A1 again, and we didn't get it. But you can kind of see the thought process there. If I'm able to steal that retaliate, I can steal it and put it on everyone, which is kind of disgusting for a, obviously, Isis, what you're able to do with her. So I'm going to slap down the Tristan. We've got this guy here, so we're going to finish off our Heimdall, and then we'll try and again steal what we can here off him. So boom, attack, and there we go. Perfect. There we are. We just used Isis with a joint attack on Aphrodite, and we just stole all of the buffs, right? We stole the Radiance buff, and now my entire team has Radiance on, right? Which is just great. Lovely jubbly, as we would say over here in Great Britain, right? So this is why I really like Isis, and this is just a good little showcase of, if you've never used Isis again, this is the power of her, being able to put these shields on, being able to steal and spread buffs, and for argument's sake, if someone died, I can revive them, and if Horus was in the team, I'd get that Radiance 2 buff as well on them, right? So really fantastic hero as we kind of just close out this one. We'll do some damage onto these guys and see if we're able to do any more shenanigans, like steal some more buffs. We'll place our massive shield on our team. Obviously, got a Sag having a nice little mental breakdown because he is frozen, which is funny. I hope if there is one of the devs watching this video because they've been enjoying this series, they just kind of, I like this animation, but I just hope they fix it so when he goes down, he stays down, right? He doesn't go up and down, up and down, up and down like a dance team, right? That's a bit of a bad one, right? But obviously, this is alpha. We don't expect that to be perfect right now, but I'm hoping that's the aim for it. So we've got our joint attack online here just so we can steal any buffs, but you'll notice no one has any buffs anyway. So I'm just going to kill the Shamash so we don't have to worry about him. I'm going to see if any of these heroes get a buff so we can try and steal it one last time on them. But one thing you might have noticed on the bottom of the screen now, I have a lot of men's on my heroes, right? I have a lot of men's on my heroes. And that is because this is kind of what she does. She kind of just does that, right? She's able, especially at Awakening 1, to keep applying these men's. And sometimes you'll notice these men's can just keep going and going. And I think this might get fixed for beta. I don't think they're going to allow maybe the men's to do what they're doing here. But look, it makes you unkillable almost. And that's just with this one hero, right? Because you got to think now, no one is going to die. And if they get really low on their turn, well, guess what? I can just simply heal back up to full with all the men triggers. Like, look at that. 2300, 2300, 2300. 4 2300s we just got there. from the ISIS just healing, like the mend healing that we're doing. Like, it's insane. It's insane. So hopefully this was a nice little showcase of basically what ISIS is capable of. I know it's a lot more easier, it's a dumbed down thing, but the whole point of these videos isn't to go into the hardest levels and that, it's to showcase what these heroes are all about. And on that, hey, we got Pandora, and maybe she's going to be one that we can use future in this series, because she's one hero I really do want to really abuse with some of these different, you know, teams that you're able to put together. But with that, that is Isis, the Divine Mother. As you can tell, build her as much HP as you can, and you're not going to go wrong when you're stealing buffs and putting buffs onto your allies with a massive hench shield and a defense up 2, which synergizes perfectly with defenders. And if you need to, in an oh shit situation, you've got the ultimate to revive all of your team when she's basically the last one alive, as long as she doesn't obviously get focused down by the enemy. And that is it. That is all you need to know for it. Obviously, all the numbers, all the details have been showcased in this alpha wave 3 of ISIS. And hopefully, again, in beta, if anything changes, we're going to be able to spot it. So if you enjoyed this series, if you are enjoying the content that I'm able to provide while we wait, you know what to do. Smash like, comment, and subscribe for more daily Godforge videos. Me, MrSneakyy. And until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky, guys. Peace out.